Hey, what's up, gamers? Welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today I just wanted to run through what I use for my solo dungeoning, um, which I've solo cleared the dungeon. I don't even know how many times, um, but you know, obviously I did it flawless. I'm still working on the title because it's really hard to do any of this bullshit solo, but everything else is pretty easy. But yeah, I just wanted to run through what I do for my damage phase. So it's pretty simple, but I think I'm just gonna run through it first, and then I'll explain it afterward. Yeah, let's just do this. Oh, I almost got the third one up. Yeah, so that's, and that's, I'm sure you could probably optimize it a smidge more than that, but, um, I mean, I mean, what else is there to say? Is that not good damage or what? Uh, so yeah, the actual way that I achieve this is, it's pretty simple. Um, I'll pull up this just so you can really see everything, but I'll work through it real quick. Obviously, my weapon stat is really high. Not maxed out, but it's pretty good. And that I mean, I mean, come on. Obviously, that's important. We have solar weapon surges on, which obviously, that's more damage. I like to have time dilation on. It's not really necessary at all, considering that Wolfsbane has attrition orbs on it, which, yes, have attrition orbs on. Oh my god, have attrition orbs on. Attrition orbs plus recuperation, just so good. Or if you're a loser, you can also have a health stat that exists, but that's if you're a loser. So, yeah, and then you just use Fortune's Favor, which gives you just way better stats while you have an overshield. And then to get that void overshield, I'm using Fortunate Star. It's just fantastic. But you can also use the Dungeon Pulse Rifle. I just find that a bow from the summer is a lot more consistent at actually getting headshots on console. Like, I'm sure if you're cracked out of your mind on console or PC with pulse rifles, you'll be just fine. But I think having repulsor brace demoralize on a bow is just that insane. Considering that with that draw time, basically you're basically getting a void overshield in less than 1.1 seconds, right? And that is, I mean, that's just fantastic. Or even better if Vice Stinger procs actually, if you're lucky. But yeah, that just keeps that can help get your overshield back up right before boss damage. And then I like to have Fair Potent on just so then you can have ammo up and that damage resistance and flinch resistance when your shields break. So then when you whip out Fortunate Star, then you can, do anything. But before damage, I should say, you do want to actually pull out your Uncivil Discourse or just anything. I don't really care. Like, if you want to use Mint Retrograde, whatever. I just find, like, it's pretty easy to just whip out Uncivil Discourse, hit two enemies with Wolfsbane, and then I have, just enough shots to get through Dredgen Seer's hands, right? But otherwise, I just use Fortunate Star when I'm rocking, like when I'm doing Harrow, which I was right before this. So, um, yeah. Otherwise, from actual Prismatic, I find that keeping Kismet up is really easy if you just have Faceted Purpose. Um, Attrition Orbs gives you Orb gives you Overshield. Overshield gives you damage. What else is there to say? Obviously, Acrobat's Dodge, Radiant, damage. I mean, duh, you know. Um, yet again, Tether, damage, duh. Um, Now, this one's pretty funny. Threaded Spike damage, duh. But not not dealing more damage, but taking less of it. Threaded Spike is also just really, really, really good. By far the best out of these melee options, especially if you're rocking Acrobat's Dodge. But I'm sorry, Combination Blow Enjoyers, that shit is so ass after they nerfed it. Thread Spike is just the GOAT, especially alongside Grapple, which, if you're fighting Dredgen Seer, I'm sure you probably understand why you want your Grapple, especially if you can just get a nice little tether, a nice little tangle, and then throw that grapple to it, punch, and then you still have your grapple punch again, bazinga! You've killed, you've gone up to the top and killed top Dredgen Seer if that's what you were trying to do or whatever. Obviously Ascension, because duh, it's so good, and in combination with Facet of Hope, it gives you full uptime on your Acrobat's Dodge, as long as you have max out class ability. And like, it's also just really good, especially with Stylish Executioner. Speaking of Stylish Executioner, if you remember to only throw your melee while you're already invisible, which is pretty easy to do because you just debuff anybody in any way, get invisible, or sorry, debuff and then kill, then bazinga bazonga, you got a weakening Thread Spike. I don't know if Thread Spike weakens after the first target, but usually the first target is the one that it matters to weaken anyway. So, then I Faceted Blessing on because healing. You shouldn't have problems with health with this build, but it's better to just always not instead of maybe not. Faceted Protection, free plus 10 melee is always nice, and free damage resistance is always nice. Speaking of damage resistance, Transcendence. You know what a great perk about being a hunter is? It's that we can actually use our Transcendence, which means that we get bonus weapon damage and also Hailfire Spike Grenades, which are, oh man, are they good. So, fuck you. Reducing incoming damage as much as possible while dealing more damage, while having more, ability uptime, and then being able to come out of damage phase with bare minimum a movement ability guaranteed is so nice. Because let's say you're playing Equilibrium and you're fighting Dredgen Seer and you don't do enough damage. Well, you're going to need to get the fuck out of there pretty much instantly. Good thing, grapple. As long as you don't directly bump into any signs, I guess. Lamau. But yeah, that was just a pretty quick rundown of my damage. I'd mostly recommend actually doing all this Wolfsbane nonsense after the first Tickle Fingers, but that's really up to you. I actually don't do that. I'm lying, by the way. I should, but I don't, because I can usually out damage Dredgen Seer, and then it's like once you hit that damage threshold, You know, if you can squeeze anything else in there, then I'd say go for it. But otherwise, you need to whip out your fucking uncivil discourse, and you need to deal with those goddamn fingers. I don't know if Gizmo West works for fingers. I actually usually use Mint Retrograde or some bullshit. That's a lie. I don't even know if I have one in my vault. I don't actually remember what I actually never mind. I remember what I use. Kvostov, because orbs. Lamau. Kvostov is really nice for orbs, but is it actually useful? Fuck no. All kinetic weapons are garbage. And that's just the truth. Holy shit, that is a really good Min Retrograde. Anyway, that's that. Bye.